Okay, so as I figure this thing out, we are going to talk about. I don't like that this thing is underneath the thing. It makes me look like under. Anywho, here we go. So this is our book. Oh God, it's backwards. Anyway, Love, Sex, and Dating by Andy Stanley. If you haven't gotten your book, you should have it by now. This is 2 weeks after the first video I took, and we have had our barbecue, and we have had our first actual group where we jumped in the book. Well, some of us, because some of us didn't have the book. Y'all need to get y'all book. And then we talked about some things, but which was really cool because there's a video that I'm gonna put the link that Andy Stanley does down here. So this Saturday that's coming, you need to be up to chapter 2. And so this is small group discussion. And what I like about it is the book has its own small group discussion. But because some of the people in the group didn't have their book, we were able to just talk about some things at first. You know, the book is called Love, Sex, and Dating. So we talked about love. We didn't talk about sex. We talked about dating. And the one thing, there were several things that I pulled out that I love. I love this. Y'all got to see my book. I mean, I got like all kinds of highlights, papers. There's one part that I folded down that says, so let me just read this because I am not going to sit in front of you and read this. I'm going to be on here for 5 minutes. I'm going to try to stay under 5 minutes. So it says, you are sexually compatible with far more people than you are relationally compatible with. What? Yes. So meaning you're not one in a million, you're a million in one. Have a good night. And a lot of people that you have these feelings for, you feel attracted to, yeah, you're compatible with them sexually, but you're not compatible with them relationally. And God is a God of relationships. So just because you see them, you like them, you want them, don't mean that they're the one. And he talks about the right one myth. I love how he breaks it down. I'm not going to break it down because I'm not Andy Stanley. He does a greater job of it than me. But for our group's sake, we talked about that. In his small group discussion, in the back of the book, the questions are here. So you'll have the questions before you get to class, and you'll be able to go through them and find out what we'll be talking about. So some of our questions was session 1, the right person myth. It was the first question was, think about some popular movies, TV shows, and songs about romance. We didn't do that question. We kind of went for it, but it was more, natural, organic is the word I'm trying to say. So we talked about the right person myth as a group, and you kind of polled the group as to what do they think. Do you think there's just one right person out there for you? Well, for those who have been married, evidently, I guess they're right. But Andy Stanley says it like this, that there is someone out there for you. It's your job to find out who that person is before you get sexually, relationally, and emotionally involved with them. Because once those things take place, it's harder for you to gauge who the person actually is. Because now you got all these other factors to factor in instead of finding out who this person is before you decide that they're the right one. So I thought that was great. It was a awesome way to look at stuff. This is a great book. I'm glad we're doing. I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next group. And if you can't make it, hey, you can always drop a question down here and we'll talk about it. Or I'll answer you on mine. And one of the questions was, do you agree that the right person myth is indeed a myth? I do. I think that, if we prepare ourselves for the right person, we in actuality become the right person. And then we find the person that is compatible with us, who ultimately becomes our right person. But the problem happens when, and there's great questions, and we'll get to them next week. I just wanted to come on and talk about some of the things we talked about. We talked about dating. But anyway, there's a problem when we feel like we have this fairy tale notion about who the right person is. God is the only right and perfect person. And we're flawed humans. But there are certain things that we require for ourselves that we don't have to settle, and we don't have to wait till we get together and find out who this person is, because people will show you who they are if you pay attention and you ask the right questions. In the beginning is a great time. You wait till after the fact and find out, I didn't know that about you. You didn't ask. You didn't pay attention. Or that little feeling you felt when he snapped out at the waitress, like that was a little bit over the top. Maybe he has anger issues. Oh no, maybe he was having a bad day. No, he has anger issues. Stop brushing it over because you like the things he do for you. So we talked about that. And it was a great discussion, guys. We get started on time, we end on time. I am so looking forward for your input to the first chapter in our book. So Saturday, we should have read from the first chapter to the second chapter. And you should have read, watch the first link for Andy Stanley, which I'm going to put in the comments below. But it's okay, catch up. You're not going to miss anything. We just want you a part of it. And even if you can't show up right here. Listen to the video, check it out, and see what's going on. Because at the end of the day, we, the Life Group, the Spirit Church, want you to be successfully single. You hear me? We want you to be successfully single, because once you're successfully single, you'll be successful in your marriage. And isn't that what it's all about? Plus, Paul speaks about how much you can do as a single before you get married. So let's find out who we are, what our purpose is, where we're going to destiny. Let's live this to the fullest until we find the person that we decide to spend the rest of our lives with. That's my 7 minutes. I'm out of here. And I will see you Saturday. And remember, there's absolutely no ecstasy like destiny. And when you find out who you are, people want to join. And you walk in your purpose and start doing what God created you to be, you become attractive. And for those who believe that Mr. Right or Mrs. Right is going to knock on your door and say, hey, I am him or I am her who God has created for you, and we're going to be married, I'm your husband or I'm your wife. No, that's not how it works. Get out, walk in your purpose, walk in your destiny. This is how I see it. That the moment you find out who you are in God, you get on this path of purpose and destiny. And as you walk on your path of purpose and destiny, the things that God has for you is already there. You just show up to it. And if you were in church, I think it was not this Sunday, but last Sunday, when Pastor Aeneas was talking about how Max was walking in her purpose and how God added to her as she went on. That's what he does for us all. And that's what he wants to do for you. But if you sitting at home talking about, oh my God, where is my husband? Where is my wife? You are missing out on so much more. So come on out to Life Group so we can find out how to be successfully single. So then we can find out what our destiny, our purpose is. Then, as we continue on the path that God has set before us, before the foundations of the world, he or she has to show up. Has to. He will absolutely give you the desires of your heart. Even those desires you don't even know about, because he created you. I believe it. See you Saturday.